Now that you have defined success for yourself in your organization, how do you go about tracking that success? Why is that important? I'm Eric with Leadership Development. This week we're going to talk about a step further in success of tracking success, why that's important, and how you can do it to keep yourself motivated but also keep your organization motivated. Why we're tracking success has three parts to it. The first one is it shows the progress of our organization and where we're going towards our goals. The second one is it helps keep people motivated, especially on those non-productive days and when there's that lull and people are just feeling down about themselves, especially yourself as a leader. And third is winning begets winning. When you see success, and by showing yourself success, you bring on more success. You're motivated to keep working harder to get that next win. Winning begets winning. The first why we mentioned was it shows progress. Think about this video where we talked about the three elements for a leader. One is to have a vision. Two is to have a mission. And three is to have core values. Think of tracking success as being on your map, right? When we talk about you're on your mission, we're talking about how far have we come and how close are we getting to the next set of goals. By tracking that, you're able to see where you've gone, how you've been doing. It keeps you in the game. It keeps you from quitting. Without it, it's kind of like running on a treadmill with no numbers, with no indicators on it. You just don't know why you're doing it and you quit. The second why is it shows you what you've accomplished, especially on those low days. It's a mental health thing. It's not just for your organization, but for you as a leader. How do you keep yourself motivated? How do you keep yourself standing up in front of your people and to show them enthusiasm of what you're doing to hit those goals, to hit those successes? Those are the days that you need to bring yourself up with your bootstraps. And by doing so, you're doing it with analytics that you created. The analytics that are aligned with your successes and how you define those successes. We will talk about that in the hows. And third, winning begets winning. If you're not able to see the great things that you've done, you're going to continue going down a death spiral into the darkness of losing. But by seeing a win, by seeing, hey, we can do this, it will help you attract and bring in more successes. We know that momentum is just small victories upon small victories upon small victories, which creates the great victory. Now we've talked about why. Let's talk about how we can do this. First important thing we need to talk about, though, in the how is, are the way we're going to use analytics to show our successes align with how we define what our successes are. Not somebody else's definition, our own. Because that is what we talked about being more important. Our own definition of success is more important than what other people think, because only we know what's going on within our organization that allows us to be fruitful, be profitable, to keep people coming in to be part of this journey.
Starting off with just basic small business analytics, we can look at this graph of numbers and it would tell us a lot of nothing, unless you're really dug into it, but who's got time to do that? Now, we try to draw a picture with it. But as we look at the picture there on the right, it feels very depressing. It doesn't feel like growth. It just feels like ups and downs. Now we're going to give it some more information, and we see a little bit more positive. So we're feeling a little bit better. Now we're understanding what it is. But how will we use line charts? Now line charts are interesting because they show growth over time. See that as the years go by, we can show growth on our revenue, and we can also show growth on our net income. But how do you compare the three when they have no comparison unit? So what I did here is I just drew a long line out, which resets every calendar year. So we see growth, comes back to zero, it grows, comes back to zero, and grows. Now we have a comparison from year to year to be able to show how we're going about it. And then over the life to date, this shows how our organization is growing over time. And we can see it's always growing because that's the goal we want. We want to grow. We're not looking for our target number as much as we're just looking to keep expanding or keep improving on what we're doing. These graphs, they're great. They tell me a lot, but they don't tell you anything because they're not aligned with how you defined success. But for me, I can show this is our gross revenue over the month, but look how it builds upon each other, bigger and greater. But we're talking about success. So that means I have a goal. And for me to reach that goal, I have to overcome that goal. So you see the straight line? We call that a glide slope. That shows my goal. The blue line is where we're at, and we're achieving our goals. For our organization, before we had any type of revenue, we started doing just a line item to be able to track our successes, things that we got done, things that would help us bring in revenue and also be able to help others that we want to assist with.
So we talked about why we track successes. We talked about how we track successes. And now this is where you get to incorporate how you want to track this for your own organization. Just ensure the reasons that you're doing this are aligned with how you defined your organization's successes. I'm Eric with Leadership Developed. If you like this video, hey, do us a favor, give us a thumbs up. Also, please, hit subscribe. Help us grow our audience for other growing leaders to be able to get the successes that you want. If you missed last week's video, check it out right over here. It's the whole reason why we talked about successes and who is responsible for defining those successes. We will talk to you guys again next week.